Good evening, everybody. I'm KSN Storm Track 3 Chief Meteorologist Lisa Teachman alongside Meteorologist Lucy Dahl. And we are in the pregame right before the Chiefs versus the Giants on KSN. And we thought we would hop on here on Facebook, also on our CTV channel, just to talk a little bit about the weather that we're going to be going into to kick off the new work week, because it seems like we can't get a break from the severe weather.
No,
it's going to be coming back again.
It's getting active. We had a little bit of a lull in the second half of today, but it's coming right back in, much to my dog's dismay. She has not enjoyed all this thunder the last week. We are running low on her calming treats, and I feel like tomorrow night's going to be not a fun one for her.
On the calming treats.
Yes.
So she gets a little bit of relaxers.
Yeah, she has vet prescribed ones, or the ones I just get at the pet store, because otherwise she tries to get into my t-shirt with me while I'm sleeping.
It kind of sounds like one of my pups too, because I have one pup that, I kid you not, if it's thundering and lightning, there is nothing that makes her happy.
Which one?
And there is nothing that can comfort her. It's Athena.
Athena, the baby.
It's Athena. Yeah, it's Athena. And I have not shown you guys Athena on social media just yet, so I think I'm going to have to do that here in a few days.
You haven't posted her yet?
Have not posted Athena on social media. As you guys probably know, we lost Dexter at the beginning of this month, and so my three pups, you know, they're still mourning. We still are, because Dexter was a pup that we had for almost 16 years, and he was an absolutely wonderful pup.
He had a lovely long life.
He did. And switching gears and talking about our weather, I mean, here we are going into a new work week. We have a chance for some severe weather. There is a really strong storm system that's going to be coming in here pretty soon. And this next storm system is going to be capable of producing all forms of severe weather.
Yeah, we're talking large hail, strong winds, the potential for some flash flooding, as well as that low tornado threat.
When we talk about the whole entire state is in 1 degree of severe weather or another. In the green, it's going to be the marginal risk. In the yellow is going to be a slight risk. So the slight risk is just to the southwest of the Wichita area. This tells us that we're going to have more areas that are going to have some severe weather, that are going to be capable of producing large hail, damaging winds, and a tornado or two cannot be ruled out.
No, especially late tomorrow night. It's not going to be during the evening. It's going to be more so the early morning on Tuesday. So it's that overnight into the morning that we're going to be worrying about as we look towards the next 24 hours.
And when we talk about the chances for thunderstorms tomorrow, they're first going to begin toward the evening, 4, 5 o'clock to the northwest. They're going to unzip there, and then they're expecting to track back to the south-southeast into the overnight. And Wichita may not necessarily see this action until maybe 2 or 4 o'clock Tuesday morning.
Early.
And if you were watching our weather forecast at 5 o'clock this evening on KSN News 3 at 5 on this Sunday evening, we were discussing the possibility of, you know, these thunderstorms continuing during the overnights, and that's why you also need to watch out for the possibility that we could actually have warnings while you are sleeping. So please make sure that you have maybe a weather radio, make sure that you have your free KSN Storm Track 3 weather app.
Yes.
And, you know,
your wheel alerts turned on as well.
Yeah, have the alerts turned on, have your phone turned up, just in case if you get one of the WIAs, which is a wireless emergency alert system.
Because I know the last time we had those really strong winds come through Wichita, my phone was on Do Not Disturb while I was asleep. It automatically did that. But the WIA came through, and then I was able to get alerts from everyone else after that.
So this is the entire risk. There's 2 areas of slight risk. There is one from southeastern Nebraska into southwestern Iowa, northwestern Missouri. But you look at Kansas, either in the marginal or in the slight. But the slight goes from Garden City to Liberal over toward Dodge, just to the southwest of Wichita, including Pratt, Medicine Lodge, and also Ark City.
Yeah, and that is where we're going to be seeing all forms of severe weather possible. That tornado threat, though, Lisa, going to be a little bit more isolated. It's going to stay south of the Wichita area. But again, all forms of severe weather is what we're preparing for. Have multiple ways to have alerts as we look through the next couple of days here.
All right, so this is breaking down our risks that we're going to have. On the higher end, it's going to be the high winds. It's going to be the large hail. Tornado threat is not zero, and we're going to show you the area most likely where we could see some tornadoes that may ramp up. And this is going to be the issue because it's going to be more so during the overnight and into the start of the next day. which is going to be right here in this spot here. Southern Kansas, just south of the Wichita area over toward Medicine Lodge, including Ark City, southwest of the Independence area. Those of you that are joining us right now on Facebook, we have about 17 viewers that are chiming in right now. Go ahead and ask us any weather questions that you folks may have, and we will answer them for you here on TV. It's hard to believe that here we are going into late September into early October.
And we're still talking about severe weather.
And the severe weather just does not want to end. Greatest risks for the damaging wind threat. This will be from Monday evening into the overnight. Southwest of Wichita, where you see the yellow shaded areas, there will be a higher concentration of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. And we also have hail up to the size of golf balls, maybe even locally larger with some of these thunderstorms.
I feel like this year we've really had
the hail.
So many hail threats, multiple days of it. I don't remember that the last 2 years that I was here, but I feel like this year especially has been one for the hail.
It reminds me a lot of the early 90s around
Yes.
here. If you lived in Wichita 1990, 1991, we had some really big, large hailstones that came with some of those thunderstorms. And many of these thunderstorms this year remind me of that. And we also have had flooding concerns. We've had flash flood emergencies in the past. Wichita, El Dorado this year alone. Earlier today, Ellsworth County, flash flood warning because of so much rain that has fallen. And I think we are going to see some other areas where some flash flooding warnings will be popping up Monday night into Tuesday morning. Any place across Kansas is fair game. But if you get underneath one of the stronger thunderstorms, this is when you're going to have the higher chance of producing and seeing 1 to 3 inches of rainfall locally.
In a very short period of time as well. It's just going to be during that overnight. These storms going to come in. They can dump a lot of rainfall very quickly in a very localized area. And that's going to be where that flooding concern is going to be at.
All right, let's go ahead and go through this hour by hour and show you Stormcast. And this is at 7 o'clock this evening. There is a marginal risk in effect for eastern Kansas into Missouri, and that's going to be for 1 or 2 thunderstorms. I think most of these thunderstorms are going to be away from the KSN viewing area. We go into tomorrow. Tomorrow's highest tomorrow, well into the 80s. Temperatures are going to heat up. It's a phenomenon known as compressional warming out ahead of this next cold front. And I think some of the hottest temperatures tomorrow will be in northwest Kansas.
Toasty. My Siri is letting me know that she agrees with you there. But toasty temperatures tomorrow. It's not going to feel like one of those days where we're expecting to see those storms come in because it's going to be so late. And I know a lot of people are like, you said storms were coming in on Monday. Yes, late Monday. I want to emphasize that. But definitely going to be a warm one. I think we're going to be feeling the humidity also increase tomorrow with that southeasterly wind.
And you know thunderstorms have to develop somewhere. And it looks like the thunderstorms are going to originate to the northwest. So here's what's going to happen. You have the heat that's starting to build up. And you have a layer that's higher up in the atmosphere that's known as a cap. So that cap is going to hold some parts of the state under wraps. Cold front comes through. Atmosphere starts to cool as the sun starts to set in the western sky. And then, bam, we're going to see thunderstorms originate to the northwest near Hill City, back toward the Colby area, anywhere between 4 or 5 p.m. Monday evening.
That witching hour. That's usually when our storms start getting going around here.
And then they really start to go up after 6 o'clock in the evening. Here we are, 9 p.m. on Monday evening, and it's still favoring parts of northwest Kansas, extreme southwest Kansas over toward the Garden City area. So it's now starting to butt into southwest Kansas and also west central Kansas over toward the Hayes area, Hill City. But then these thunderstorms, this is 1 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning. Many of us are asleep. The severe storm threat not over yet. We're still expecting thunderstorms just west of the Wichita area that could produce all forms of severe weather, with the higher concerns being the hail and also the high wind threat. When does this get into Wichita? It gets into Wichita between 4 a.m., probably more like 3, 4. Now, when you look at these model depictions, they could be off by an hour here, an hour or 2 there. But it gives you a pretty good idea of how the atmosphere is going to unravel, how it is going to behave going into early Tuesday morning. And this, to me, shows some hail, but it also is telling me that you're going to have some stronger winds that will be arriving into the Wichita area 3, 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Then Tuesday morning at about 8 o'clock, main severe storm threat starting to push off to the east. The clouds, on again, off again showers, and a few thunderstorms. Temperatures are coming down at this point.
I think something that is good to note for Tuesday morning is that severe threat likely going to be over by the time many kids head to the school bus.
Right,
I know that's
right.
always a concern, but people who are early risers getting out to start their day early, 3, 4 a.m., heading to the gym, that's where we're really going to need to worry about that severe threat while you're on the roads. Hopefully most of us are home asleep, but also with our alerts turned on loud on our phones.
And we have a lot of people that work in the aircraft industry that are getting
Yes.
up at 3:30 in the morning to go to work at 4:35, and that could be a critical time frame when many are going to be going into work that early in the morning. So that's why Tuesday morning, we want you guys to make sure that you're being weather aware. But then by Tuesday evening, this is going to be behind the front. You see the arrows, how they have shifted around to the north. So the cooler air is coming in, but also the cloud cover and the on again, off again showers and storms will help to drive temperatures down. And then it's going to be a similar story on Tuesday into Wednesday morning, but I don't think we're going to see as much rainfall on Tuesday. We'll still have some in the scattered light variety, but nothing that's expected to be severe.
No, all that rain will be in the morning, and then we're watching those scattered showers through the evening. Tuesday's also the first official full day of autumn,
yep.
and it is going to feel like it.
It is.
So we're looking forward to that.
Looking at our temperatures, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to show you guys what our temperatures are going to be for tomorrow, because this is the warming that's going to be occurring ahead of this cold front. That's why I said you get over toward northwest Kansas, north central Kansas, 87 in Hayes, 85 in Colby. We're at 82 in Goodland, and the winds will switch from the southwest to the northwest. Once you get that wind switch from the northwest, then you know you are definitely behind the front and you're good to go. But if you still maintain the winds from the southwest, or more so from the south-southeast, you're still in the limelight for picking up some of these stronger thunderstorms.
Yeah, because that's pulling in the moisture and it's pulling in that warmth right into your area to help fuel these storms as they move in.
Yeah, just make sure that you are being weather aware from late Monday evening, first to the northwest, then farther to the south-southeast Wichita area between 2 and 4 a.m. on Tuesday. Now, after we get past tomorrow with these temperatures like this, look at how our temperatures are going to start to cool. Yes, like Lucy said, it is going to start to feel like fall. Our average high for this time of year is 82. We're at 83 on Monday. Then we're in the 70s, lower 70s on Wednesday. Wednesday, I would not be shocked if some parts of Kansas stay in the upper 60s. Then as we get into Thursday morning, we could have some overnight lows near the Kansas-Colorado state line in the upper 40s.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. Those of you that are fall lovers, this is definitely going to be your time later this week. All right, taking a look at our next 5 days for the rainfall potential. This could change if you get underneath one of the stronger thunderstorms. You could amp up and receive a little bit more, but on average, 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch for most of Kansas. But I could definitely see some places banking on 1 to upwards of 3 inches of rainfall, which could enhance some flooding concerns.
Especially in those localized areas that get those storms just stuck overhead, continuing to bring rainfall to the same area. Some of us definitely could see some more rainfall than what this model particularly is putting out here.
All right, Travis says, hi, Lisa and Lucy. Are the mosquitoes bad your way, or are they bad here? And I know Travis is sending us this from the Salina area. The mosquitoes are bad here, too. They are
so bad.
I was at a big truck night the other day, and I think I came home with 3 or 4 bites by the end of the night.
I mowed my front yard last week, and I came back in, my legs were covered in bug bites, and I put bug spray on. This year has not been fun for the bugs.
And you can definitely blame the rainfall, the amped up
Yes.
amounts of moisture that we've had in the atmosphere, helping to enhance these mosquitoes that have been out. I'm no mosquito expert, but all I know is that if you receive moisture and it stays warm enough, you know you're going to get a lot of mosquitoes here in Kansas.
Yeah, they like the moisture. I've had a lot of cicadas this year too. Have you?
I have. And of course, my pups like to play with them.
I was going
and
to say
eat
my
them,
cat keeps bringing them inside.
and then tearing them apart.
yes, the wings, the
Yep, all over
legs.
the couch. It's quite
Lovely.
disgusting. It really is. It's gross. It really is gross. We'll continue to keep you updated on the severe storm threat. Please make sure that you are coming back to visit us frequently on air and online. And we'll have another update after the game tonight. And then we're going to have more updates going into tomorrow morning with Ronell. You're going to be back at
I'm
noon
back
tomorrow.
for noon tomorrow.
And then you're going to be with me tomorrow evening as well, 4,
Yes.
5, 6, and 10. Hopefully you'll be back sleeping by 10 o'clock tomorrow night. But it's going to
Fingers
be active.
crossed.
It's going to be active before temperatures start to cool off just a little bit for us. All right, so that's one side of some things that we want to talk about. Now we want to talk a little bit about what the KSN Storm Track 3 weather team have been doing, because we've been kind of busy here over the last couple of weeks. Proud to say that our weather team was invited by Sedgwick County to take part in the Emergency Preparedness Expo at the beginning of September.
And it was the first one, if I remember correctly, right?
It was the first one. We've been to these type of expos in Harvey County, but this is the first time that we've had something like this in Sedgwick County. And it was indoors. It was at the Century 2 Expo Hall. And we were out of the sunshine. We were in a little bit of AC. We had so many people that were coming by, and a lot of different emergency preparedness first responders that were there from Wichita Fire. We had Sedgwick County Sheriff's Department there. We had Evergy. We had
The National Weather Service.
National
was
Weather
there.
Service was there, our weather partners. We also had emergency management with Sedgwick County. We had a chance to talk with our emergency management director, Julie Stimson. She came out and took pictures with us, but they also had their Thunderbolt siren
Yes,
on wheels.
you can see it in the background of the team photo there. That bumblebee looking siren.
It is
that the
actually
Thunderbolt.
painted like the Thunderbolt siren that we had back in the early 1950s,
Oh, I did not
like
know that.
1952.
Cool.
Yeah, if you go up in Park City and right next to Crosswinds Casino, there is a fire station there. And if you look up, you'll see a refurbished early 1950s Thunderbolt siren. And that is an interesting story, how that all came to be here in Kansas and how we went from not really having organized tornado warnings to progressing in that direction, and even how we were able to take these air raid sirens and turn them into tornado warning devices right here in Wichita the day after the El Dorado tornado
And
back in 1958.
I didn't realize that in Wichita was the first place to ever decide to use the air raid siren as a tornado warning siren until we went to the refurbished Thunderbolt. Like, what a cool piece of history that's right in our own backyard.
So you have the whole team here. You have me, Lucy, Ronell, and also Jack Maney, and we also have Jack Boston. And his wife mentioned this on Facebook, so I think we're going to mention it for the first time here. But we are proud to say that meteorologist Jack Boston will be retiring from KSN, from TV. He says that he's worked for 53 years, and it is time for him to make his own schedule, to enjoy a little bit of R&R with his wonderful wife, Karen, and also the rest of his family. So we all want to wish meteorologist Jack Boston a wonderful retirement. He's still going to be with us for a few more weeks. His last day here at KSN will be October 8th.
You'll have to get him on the podcast to talk about, because he's done all types of different things in weather, both the private sector and in broadcast.
He started off in broadcasting in Wisconsin after graduating from a college in New York State. And then he went to work for AccuWeather. So he worked in Pennsylvania, and AccuWeather brought him here. And then after he left AccuWeather, he came to
back
KSN.
to us, yeah.
He worked at another station here in town, but then we had him come over to KSN, and it's just been a joy, a wonderful, wonderful honor to have meteorologist Jack Boston with us. So Boston will be retiring in early October.
I know.
And we're going to have a big party for him.
Oh, we are. He kept saying he was going to miss us so much. I go, Boston, you don't think I'm going to keep texting you and bugging you forever?
We always will.
You're stuck with us. Sorry.
He is our forecasting buddy. When we sit down to forecast in the early afternoons, he's right there, and he does some wonderful things, not only building the graphics that you folks see on TV, but also he does this really cool forecast sheet for me. So he's like,
so
here you
nice.
go. It is so much data in such a small area, and I've always been so thankful for having meteorologist Jack Boston, and also just to have the conversations with him, because a lot of us in our department have had some big life changes over the last 2 to 3 years, and we've all been there for each other for it.
Yeah, our own little
Supporting each other.
family.
Yep, it is our little weather family. Shanna says, hello, ladies. Looking gorgeous as always. Appreciate the information you are delivering. Jan Utter says, hi, ladies. And Olivia says, hi, Lisa and Lucy. I'm always on the Julia and Jeff podcast, but I wanted to say the rainy weather is perfect for nap time. Yeah, it is perfect
Oh, I
for
agree.
nap time. I would agree
wholeheartedly.
I love all the fall days where you get the overcast skies and you get the rain showers, because sometimes I may go on the patio and I'll fall asleep on the patio or go inside and just hang with the pups, because
Well, you have
they
like
know.
a nice patio setup, right? Do you fall asleep sitting up in your chair, or do you have like a nice lounger?
Oh no, I lay down on the couch.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was thinking
Yeah.
my backyard, and I was like, I don't think I could fall asleep in my little chair back there.
Oh yeah,
but no.
yeah. We have a way to keep all the pups on the patio.
Yeah.
It's this plastic thing that will extend the whole entire way, so that way if I do fall asleep, I know that they're not going to run off into the yard or something like that. So.
Yeah, I've woken up in my hammock to Gertie trying to get in the hammock with me,
That's
which was an adventure.
She's going to try to flip you over.
That's kind of what happened.
Yeah. We've also had a few big truck nights that our team has been a part of. Derby kicked it off at near the Oak Lawn Community Center, the rec center. And then we also had another one in Hayesville. This was a few of the folks that came out for the one in Oak Lawn. And the picture that we have here at the bottom, here's 6 degrees of separation.
Okay.
So this family is related to one of my neighbors that I grew up with just 2 or 3 houses down.
Cool.
Yep. They came over and they said, "Oh, you lived next to Wanda growing up in Hayesville." And I was like, "Yeah." So I had to make sure that their Aunt Wanda got this photo. And we also had Sedgwick County Fire that came over. They were part of my 6 p.m. broadcast, and they did a wonderful job. Jacob, who is on the far right, I think everybody put him up to doing that interview. And he did a wonderful job.
From behind the scenes, it felt like they told him they were all going to be behind him. And the second it was 10 seconds from show, they all ran back behind the camera, I think.
Oh, they ran behind the camera, and then they ran on the other side of Storm Tracker. So there was no
You
way
couldn't
that I
even
could
see
grab
them?
them. No, because I think they knew, because I even told my photojournalist, James Hare, who has the nickname Tornado James,
Yes,
by the way,
shout
here.
out Tornado James.
Yep, Tornado James, because he's always out storm chasing. But I think that they might have heard me talking to James, and they're like, "Well, she's going to turn the camera on us." And so they went on the other side of
They
Storm Tracker. There was
ran.
no way for me to get them.
Jacob did a good job, though.
Jacob did a good job. So, Jacob, if you are watching this, just know that maybe you need to turn the tides on them
Yeah,
the
get
next
them
time
back
we're in that
sometime.
area. Yeah, absolutely. But wonderful, wonderful event. All these big vehicles that come out. Wichita Public Library has their own bookmobile. And the kids get a book and get to go in, and they just make it so much fun. And all the other big trucks that were out there that night.
There was a Chiefs truck there, right? The van?
It was the
bus.
Arrowhead Express.
That one.
The Arrowhead Express came out to Derby's Truck Night and was also at the Hayesville
Yes.
Truck Night, and Kelly Kennedy was driving that. Kelly Kennedy has been featured on KSN before, but I know Kelly Kennedy way before KSN because he has been a teacher in the Hayesville school system since I went to Hayesville, which was many, many moons ago. Many, many moons ago, that's for sure. And these were a couple of the photos that we had from the big truck night in Hayesville, which was last Thursday. And there was one little boy that came over to talk to me, and you can see the back of his shirt. He's located on the left. And if you look real closely at the shoes that I had on, they were radar shoes.
Yes, I don't know if I got a good picture of them on this slide, but they're on Lisa's Facebook if you go look.
Radar shoes. And he looked at those and he was like, "Oh, that's so cool. Those are radar shoes." And I said, yeah, those are radar shoes. And he said, do you know what kind of storm that was from? And you can actually, I thought they were trying to do that with some of these shoes, where they were able to take whatever storm,
Oh, like the actual image?
like
of
the actual
radar? Oh,
image
cool.
from radar, and put that on a pair of shoes. I don't know if they've actually come to do that, but I think it's just a general one. It's got a debris ball on it. And so I started digging in. I started asking him, I said, "Do you know what the colors mean?"
He did.
And he did. He was 6 years old, I believe, and he just knocked me over because he said they indicate the storm threats. A 6-year-old saying they indicate the storm threats. Okay, he must be watching us a lot because we
Yes.
talk and use the term threats all the time. As a 6-year-old, I never would have used that term.
I don't think I could say that I would have.
I wouldn't have. And so I said, "Well, which part of the storm is the worst?" And he said, "It's red." And I said, "Exactly right. That was how it was designed on radar. Red on radar indicates where you have the worst part of the storm. Like in our society, where you have a stop sign. What color
Red.
is a stop sign? It's red."
Emergency vehicles usually have the red lights. It's all connected.
So thank you so much to Derby. Thank you so much to Hayesville for having us out for the big truck night the last couple of weeks. Also, last Thursday, I had a pretty busy day. I was at the Community Leadership Breakfast, kicked off at 7 a.m. in the morning. And this is Michelle that you can see right here on the far left. Wonderful, wonderful lady. Told us about her story. And the gal that is in the middle, 6 degrees of separation with the long dark hair.
Yes.
That is Peyton's aunt.
That's Peyton Steiner's aunt?
Peyton Steiner's
wow.
aunt. Yep. which I did not know that because she has come on and she has interviewed on KSN.
Yeah, she's been on the noon show a couple times.
And she says, oh, I just got to get a picture with you because I'm Peyton Steiner's aunt. And then, of course, with the other folks with the Salvation Army who do a lot of wonderful things in our community, we always see them out in disaster areas helping to give people a cup of coffee, a donut. They may set up a shop for people to come and to also get things.
Just
that
those
they need.
resources that you don't think about.
Yeah, it's one of those that is out there. We know about the red kettles at Christmas time, which those will be coming out. So please donate if you can to the Salvation Army because they do a lot of good in our community. And then also that day, I was at the Wichita Airport Authority. I spoke to them last year because they wanted to know what our winter season is like. And Lyle just asked me, what's the prediction for the winter, snow and cold wise? All right, so here's what I will tell you guys that I told them. Right now, it's too early for us
Yes.
to dictate, oh, it's going to be a cold and snowy, or it's going to be a warm and dry winter. We have to wait until we get a little bit closer to see how the weather pattern is going to shape up. I do believe after every 90, 120 days, our weather patterns start to change.
Yes.
We could be looking at another shift here pretty soon because we've been in a wet period for about that time frame.
We have most of all of the spring and summer this year so far.
We have. And so even later this week into the weekend, we're going to start to get a little bit warmer. We're going to start to dry things out for the last few days of September and into early October. Once we get past Wednesday of this week, we may not see another chance of rainfall for another week. Much more full-time temperatures coming, warm during the days, seasonable during the days, and crisp and clear nights in the 40s and also the 50s. So I mentioned this to them. I also mentioned to this crew, and I'll mention it to you as well, that La Nina is supposed to kick in. And Kansas is always the wild card. If you look at the way winters are, whether it's El Nino, when it's La Nina, or it's a neutral phase, Kansas is always the wild card because it all comes down to how do we have that weather pattern shaping up. And this year with La Nina, could we start off warmer and drier, but then become much colder and snowier as the season goes on? It is possible with La Nina.
If I remember correctly, last year was a La Nina also.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep. And things in the springtime, they were active somewhat, not as active as other
As
seasons.
past years, but still like in terms of how many storms we saw, maybe not the intensity. I feel like we had an active spring, but not as many stronger storms
In
past
May,
years. Yeah.
we had the Grinnell tornado, we had the Plevna tornado, having to do and issued to you folks a tornado emergency for Greensburg and for Plevna, 2 cities all within one night. And I mean, that night I'll never forget because it was wild, because you think back to 2007 when Greensburg was hit and a tornado emergency issued then and another tornado emergency issued this year. But by the, this storm just shifted by just the littlest bit.
It was
and it missed the town.
just, I believe, south enough, if I remember correctly, but it just missed it.
Yeah. And Olivia wants to know, what is your favorite season?
Fall.
Fall. I would say fall is probably second. I like spring because you go through so much winter of the cold temperatures and no leaves on the trees. And I love to see the trees that start to bloom flowers, even though some of the pear trees, they kind of stink. But I love looking at them. And I love looking at the Oklahoma redbuds when they start to come out. And it looks so pretty coming after a season that is a winter season, which is, it's brown, it's cold, and it's, I don't know, just... There's no greenery on any of these trees. And I think I like spring, but I also like forecasting more springtime conditions when it comes to storms.
I think when you ask meteorologists what their favorite season is, they're going to ask you, do you mean to forecast or do you mean to experience? Because I like fall, me as a person, but for forecasting, I like spring better. But my allergies are just too bad in the spring for me to say I enjoy springtime weather.
Well, and I would have to say allergies in the fall, I think, because of the ragweed.
The ragweed has been bad this year.
Yeah.
Personally, I have not had fall allergies like this before.
And it's probably been, I think it's one of the worst ragweed seasons that we've had in years. And what can we blame that on? All the rainfall that we have had.
It's the rain.
plants have just been thriving on all of this rainfall. So have your allergy meds, because I know I definitely have my allergy meds.
Yes.
And I need to get some of that refilled, because I tend to get a lot of headaches because of that.
Same.
Pressure changes also tend to do that too, but you can feel it in your sinuses, and just the slightest pressure change and maybe even some irritation, it can throw me, and also it throws you for migraines.
Yes.
We're both susceptible. Because like when I came in this afternoon, it was the first time I've seen Lucy in a few days, and I said, did you have a migraine yesterday?
And I said, yeah. Are you feeling better today? Because I'm feeling way better today.
I'm feeling way better today too. So you might be able to tell some days when we have migraines, because you see bright lights that are just kind of...
Which I don't think we're in the best career for not dealing with bright lights,
Yeah,
because
we
all
have
we
bright
have
lights
is
everywhere.
the bright lights on us all the time. But
And also the pressure changes. We're forecasting the pressure changes all the time.
at least we know when it's coming.
We know that. And then you add in the ragweed, and it just makes it more
A
difficult.
blast.
Blast.
The weather sitter pain meds, they sit on the counter and they're ready.
Christine says, hi, Lisa and Lucy. Olivia says, my allergies turned into a head cold, and right now I'm recovering from it, but I still got a cough. Well, I hope that you feel better, Olivia, because that can happen. I mean, it can go into a sinus infection if
Yeah.
you start off with, some stuffiness and irritation and all that, and it can...
Just the ick. You just get the ick and it just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, the ick. We'll call it the ick, that's for sure. So, any other weather questions you folks may have, please make sure that you chime in. We have several that are watching us right now here on KSN. I want to go back over to, on our weather computer here, I want to take a look at tomorrow, just to rehash tomorrow, because I want to make sure that everybody is being weather aware, because we're not done with the severe weather just yet. Not at
yet.
all. We have a marginal risk all across the state, and we also have a slight risk south and also west of Wichita. It includes Ark City, Medicine Lodge, Pratt, Stafford County, Dodge City, Garden City, Liberal, most of the Oklahoma Panhandle. And this will start off with the hail, the high wind threat, and then as we get into the overnight, once these storms approach the Kansas-Oklahoma state line, we may have an increasing tornado threat tomorrow night.
And I know we talked about it at the beginning, but just to reiterate, this is an overnight into the early morning storm system. That means a lot of us are going to be asleep, and we might not hear that alert if our phone's not turned on loud. So before we head to bed tomorrow, phone's on loud. Make sure the do not disturb setting is not on. I know I've been guilty of that before. KSN Storm Track 3 app, make sure your WIA alerts are on, just so that you have all the information available to you as it comes in.
All great advice. Well, Lucy and I are going to update the weather forecast. We'll be back tonight after the game. I know many of you are looking forward to the Kansas City Chiefs and the Giants game. If you watched us at KSN News 3 at 5, we all gave our predictions. And Jeff and I both say that it's going to be the Chiefs.
Which I agree.
You agree.
I
You're
agree.
also in the Chiefs territory.
I need to knock on wood, but
And Julia, she's doing a little bit of reverse psychology.
yeah, she's trying to do a fake out.
She is. She's trying to do a fake out because she's 0-2, because for the last couple of games, we're all trying to do a score. Who can guess the winner of our Sunday night football games here on KSN? And
Julia's
Jeff
gonna-
and I are tied 1
Yeah.
and 1. She's 0-2. So she says, for the last few weeks, I've had the losing team, so I'm going to say that it's the Giants, so that way it pushes it in the direction of the Chiefs.
Yes, it's gonna
Great.
work.
It's a great philosophy. I love it. I love it. All right, everybody, make sure that you enjoy your evening. Get outside for maybe a little bit. Go play with the kids. Go for a walk around the block. Take the dog to the dog park before the sun sets tonight, because it is definitely a beautiful evening. Slightly humid, but not too bad. But the humidity will be putting into play for our chances for severe weather tomorrow. And know that our weather team will be here to keep you ahead of this severe weather, keep you informed, keep you advised, and we'll let you know with all the updates tonight after the game, tomorrow morning with Ronell, Lucy at noon, and me tomorrow evening at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. And, of course, updates as needed on KSN and online at ksn.com. Everybody enjoy your evening and take care.